Welcome back to Everything Money. We're so glad you joined us today. As always, I'm Seth in my flowery shirt, which I adore. Paul and Mo are here. We're talking about GE. GE is set for a reverse split, a reverse stock split. It's kind of confusing, Paul. That's why we're doing a video about this. Stock splits are basically a mentality thing, wouldn't you say, Paul? It's a way to manipulate, the company can manipulate their price to seem more expensive or cheap. And we're going to show you today why it's not really the case, however you may be thinking that way. We're going to look at
let's first explain the stock split itself. So when a company has, for example, a share that's $1,000, the average person sits there and goes, that's too expensive for me. Luckily, you're watching us and you realize that expensive isn't about the price of the share, it's about what you're getting for that share. But the regular person mentality is that's too expensive. So what they do is they might do a 10-for-1 stock split. So they'd take a $1,000 share, they'd issue 9 times more shares to make it $100 a share now. So now the average investor goes, oh, look, it's more reasonably priced, which isn't the case.
Yeah, if you recall, Tesla did this. They ramped up to like $2,200, $2,500, and they split 5 ways back down, so it seems more affordable. This company's doing the opposite.
So now they're doing the opposite.
Why is GE doing this?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at any news. I haven't looked at, I just found out minutes before we did this video, hey, they're doing a reverse stock split. What usually happens is people will do reverse stock splits if they're at like $1 and they need to stay over a $5 mark or whatever to be involved in their current NASDAQ or whatever market they're in. So they'll do a reverse split to make their share price higher because, as you can tell, even those big indices are just as stupid about thinking themselves, oh, this was what matters. So it's about what we're trying to teach is it's about what you get for what you're paying, not what the actual price is.
Yeah. So this stock is currently $13. It's going to split 8-to-1, so it should open around on July 30th. Should open around $100 a share. And so if you own 80 shares right now, you'll suddenly have 10. But we're going to teach you right now why that shouldn't matter because the market cap will stay exactly the same. And we're going to use our 8 pillars to see what's, regardless of the price, what's behind the company of GE. What are their fundamentals? Is this stock price too high, too low? Is it undervalued, overvalued? We'll look at it right now, Paul. Let's get into it.
And the great news is,
go ahead.
All the data we're going to look at in our 8 pillars does not get affected at all by stock price.
Not at all.
Not at all. So everything we look at now, you're not going to look at what's going to look like July 31st. It's going to be exactly the same.
It's going to be exactly the same, except your price is going to be closer to $100. That's it.
What's the market cap for GE?
$113 billion.
That's a lot.
Yep. No PE and no profit margin.
Oh, no.
Well, because they lost money.
Okay.
They keep losing money. They have a dividend of $350 million a year. How? I don't know, because they keep losing money. So we'll have to figure out if their free cash flow can even pay a dividend or if they're taking on debt. I do know one thing, and it's going to show up here in the next income statement we do. Revenue growth, guys. 118 down to 76. That's an X. But I want you to understand something. I know this about GE. They've been selling off a lot of divisions in the last few years. They've been purposely decreasing their revenue. Their goal is to consolidate, be more focused, and grow the company from there.
Yeah, we're talking about a company that was founded in 1892.
By whom?
Who was that?
Thomas Edison.
Come on. Sorry, I didn't know. The subsidiaries, they're in the GE Healthcare, Aviation, Digital, Capital. I see founders. Yeah, JP Morgan, Thomas Edison. This price is interesting, Paul. Back in 2000, this stock was $57. Yeah. By 2007, it was $38. It got down.
I think it was at 4 or 5, 6.
Yep. In 2016, it was up at $30 triple what it is right now. So it's beat down. I get interested in this. I mean, is this a company that's beat down on the sticker price, but maybe not so fundamentals? But maybe
so from the fundamental standpoint, it's going to say one thing, but the future might be a different thing, and that's part of the due diligence process to go in the future and see, okay, is this revenue? Like I said, if I told you, if you just looked at this and said, oh my God, this is terrible, this company's going to zero, but then I said to you, well, wait a second, they're selling off divisions.
I see.
Their revenue should go down. It's like a few years ago, we sold our biggest piece of real estate. Our revenue fell 15% next day. Why? Because we sold our biggest piece of real estate. So
that 300 unit?
Yeah. So obviously our revenue is going to fall. Now, if we just looked at the numbers here, you'd be like, oh my God, what a terrible year. Yeah. No.
But look at this. Look at their revenue going. I mean, yeah, it is going down a ton in the past 10, Paul.
It's in half almost in the last 10 years.
Tell us the numbers.
Okay. Net income. Let's look at net income now. They made $7 billion. And they lost 3.3. They've lost money every single year.
How do they keep doing this?
Now, I wonder if they sold divisions off for a loss. I mean, look at these. Other income and expenses, -5, -23, -3.6. So there's more to it than just They probably sold divisions off at a loss or something like that. That's why they had big write-offs, right? So something to consider. Shares outstanding. Well, it's actually going up. That's an X.
Oh, no.
It's down over the last 10 years, but the last 5, it's going up. Okay, balance sheet.
Do you need to look at much more?
I kind of do, because I want to just show. Let's do this. Let's look at the free cash flow.
So you always say what you've taught me and our viewers at home is a declining company still has value, and they're still making $100 billion a year.
So what we need to do is we really want to make sure that you're fully understanding the company. I don't think this is a dismissed GE overall. I just think the past is the past, and you don't even think about it. You have to look for the future potential of the business, but be conservative. Do your analysis, be conservative, understand what you're really buying, because you're buying a future stream of cash flow. Let the write-offs go. Figure out when this turnaround plan is going to be done, because they just really don't like cash flow. I mean, this is not going. I mean, look at this, Seth. In the last 5 years, they've had 1 year free cash flow. But look at the years before that, though. Oh my God, look at these 5 years before that.
15, 23, 22 billion, 19 billion.
So imagine you bought right here. This is why, guys, the future. This is why investing is hard. If you're looking at the company right here, you'd be like, geez, this thing spits off cash. Your next 5 years look like this.
Death, minus 13.
Your average was losing $3 billion a year in free cash flow.
I think this is a very important company to read the 10K, look at their restructuring plan.
And listen to investor calls.
Yeah, and don't just take their plan for the future just take it and say this is going to work. Find out what the actual plan is, because this is really important to know with restructuring.
If this speaks to you, you can join our Patreon in the link below. You can get access to this software right now. If you try and get this software in other places, YCharts, Yahoo Finance, it's going to be a lot more. Our meager Patreon fee gets you this software, gets you other tools, real estate calculator, stock analyzer tool, which Paul can go into later. It's in all of our videos. It's incredible. And you'll get our Discord channel of 3,500 people all over the world talking about GE just like this. So if you feel alone, join on the Patreon and you can have this software, right, Paul?
80 cents a day, guys. The software is yours. The same software costs how much? Costs anywhere between $100 and $500 a month. Bloomberg is $2,000 a month. Just for the financial data, it's $35 a month. For 80 cents a day, you get all of this. You get the stock analyzer tool, real estate calculator, Discord, everything. It's only getting better. Whatever price you pay, you're locked in for at that level forever. So if our prices are $50 a month in the future, for the new levels, you're still paying that 80 cents a day.
People are trading GE, and like you were about to say, this graph looks a little bonkers.
Yeah, so I think this is the first 50% rule that I've shown that has actually broken out and got to, you see, it had all that overhang area from COVID, and it actually broke out. So you see a lot with CCL, a lot of the airlines and whatnot. So that's just something that I wanted to show. I don't know if anybody has actually seen one since we've had this show, but right now, it's definitely a downtrend. It's not surprising with everything that's happening. Now, when it comes to their split, that might create some excitement around the stock, because I think that stock splits and reverse splits are all about the psychology. People might look at it and say, oh, it's $100 a share now. It's a better company because it doesn't look like 13 bucks.
Sure.
So look for, after that split happens, maybe that's when your trend changes and starts moving up and creates those engulfing candlesticks. I don't know, but this has a ton of support right here. I don't think it's going to fall any lower. This is not something that I would short right now, but keep a watch on that for later in July.
If you don't have time to keep a watch on GE, you can join the Bid and Ask Nation in our Patreon, and Mo will frankly just tell you the day you get an engulfing candlestick to buy this, and then he'll tell you when to sell. And he does it for me. Of course, I made a 2.5% on a PayPal trade last week, Paul. Yeah, it was great. So final take on GE, Paul.
Do a lot more homework.
If you're in love with this, there's not many reasons maybe why you should be.
I haven't looked at anything about their turnaround plan. They could have a very, very specific turnaround plan saying, listen, these are our divisions we're selling off. Once these divisions are sold off, once we're done with all the write-offs, everything, we're back to free cash flow at $10 billion a year with a much more lean. I don't know. I haven't done any due diligence on that. But GE is the kind of company that I believe deserves a little respect to go back and say, let's give them a benefit of the doubt to at least learn. It's not like it's some new startup where they're like, oh, the future is great. GE has proven they can make a lot of money. They just got a little, maybe frothy at times, like a little fat. And okay, they had a lot, like for example, in 07 and 08, they had a lot of financial instruments out there that just didn't work out.
So to bring it on home, do you think is stock splits, whether up or down, kind of a cheap move to manipulate potential buyers?
I don't like to use word manipulate, because to me, manipulate has something to do with like being fraudulent.
Yeah,
it's just
I think it creates attention and excitement. Maybe
I don't think they should be doing that, but I mean, there's a reason why Warren Buffett doesn't stock split. His share price is $450,000 because he doesn't want people, trading the stock. He wants long-term owners. And if you're willing to spend $450,000 on a stock, you're willing to be a long-term owner,
this
right?
Is Berkshire and Class A shares.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then they went and created Class B shares so people could buy some shares. So it's kind of like, okay, well.
My son bought some shares. Berkshire B.
No. Berkshire B is like $8,000 a share.
No.
No, 400 something.
Yeah.
Let's look.
Yeah, he had a couple.
When did that happen? I thought it was 130. I thought the Class B shares were 130.
77.
Oh, 277.
277.
Back in the day, it was 130th.
Oh.
Back in the day, when they first came out with Class B shares, I'm pretty sure they did it 130th. They must have changed that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's our take on GE, folks. That's our take on
that was the case.
stock splits. And good luck out there. Click on the Patreon and watch more videos. We'll welcome you in. Thanks, guys. Love you.